possible to win this round. Still though, a second, and it's enough. Audio with a Red Bull clutch. Oh my god.
When I come through, I'm the only one they'll talk to. Gonna heat it up, I'm gonna prove.
Last line of defense for the A side on the post plan. Velarant on the flank. Velarant comes in for the trip kill.
But that's too damn.
One enemy remains.
I'm the star of this show. Now you know.
Tara needs to go for a save. There's that first one tap. Oh, what a swipe there!
But that's too damn bad.
Lacey goes down. You're in the footsteps now. The first, the second, and the third.
Get used to it.
You're just making it look so easy, just like apple pie. It's gonna have to be an ace to pull it off with 3 bullets left. Oh my.
Hello everyone and welcome back to day 2 of Valorant Game Changers NA Series 3 presented by Verizon. We had a great first day of our open qualifications and now we're looking to see who else can make it past that first step to make it into our double elim closed qual bracket. My name is Sierra Dawn and joining me today for all the Valorant action, we have Mimi and we have Wyatt. How are you two doing? Wyatt, you ready to change the game today?
Me? Yes, I'm determined. Okay, listen. Game Changer Stage 2, I thought we would change the game. The game remains unchanged. Stage 3, though, I'm making a vow. The game has to change. It's about time. It's been how many game changers have there been, and the game remains unchanged?
And the game still the same, but this time, guys, I promise, if you watch today, the game by the end of the day will be different.
Well, you guys are delivering up some big promises here, but honestly, how Game Changers 3 has gone so far, there is some people out there definitely looking to change the game. Yesterday, we had a great first day to be kicking things off. Both of the matches that we had were absolutely unreal. First off, we got to see FlyQuest Red go up against Sovereignty, and Mimi, what a match that was. FlyQuest Red, they're looking so good right now.
Yeah, the game, by the way, version 1 winning. That still hasn't changed. They're still doing pretty well, but a lot of teams have come up and are starting to get closer and closer. We saw that in GC2, and already in the qualifier. I think we're seeing some teams really step up. FlyQuest in particular, that old CLG roster that was a free agent for a while, has now come back together with a new organization into this Game Changers, and I was pretty impressed with them yesterday. We have some familiar faces that have been with that roster for quite a while, but I think they're in a position now where they can be another one of those squads who can start to push towards that upper echelon. I think in GC3 right now, there's a lot of space in that kind of like 6th through 3rd position in the main event where there can be a lot of movement, and FlyQuest is definitely one of those squads that I'm looking at to maybe sneak in there.
It's definitely an exciting time, especially too since it's such a valuable point to try and get qualified for the Game Changers Championships in Brazil. Of course, we got to talk about the team still trying to qualify into the next step, and going on for today, it is going to be team's last chance here in our open group stage. First match we're going to be looking at today, we're going to be heading down to Group E and looking at actually a rematch that we didn't get to see, but that happened yesterday, going on between Infinity and Figure8 here, Wyatt. And with this rematch too, it was pretty close the first time around, so this should be quite exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you would hope that and assume that it's probably going to be a very close game again. Both of these teams have made a lot of moves since the Game Changers 2. Well, specifically, it was actually the Figure8 team. They've made a huge change. There's a core 2 players on the team. They've swapped out 3. And on the other side for Infinity, they brought in Hezi, the Australian duelist, who's been looking super good, putting up some good numbers. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Both these teams in Stage 2, they actually made it to the exact same spot. They both got eliminated in the lower round 1 in that 32-team bracket that they're trying to qualify into right now. So one of these teams, at the very least, will match their performance from the previous Game Changers, and the other team, tragically, will go out early based on where they finished last time.
Yeah, and these two teams have played each other a bit before. There was a Sakura Cup best out of 1, and then also the game just yesterday that they played in the upper stage of the brackets here. And it's been really close between these squads every time they've matched up, and this game was no exception. We didn't have a VOD of it, but what we do have is the scores from yesterday. It was OT on split for Figure8 to just nearly get that one across the line there. But it did end up with that 2-1 victory. And I think that is what makes this lower game now very interesting, because when you're playing these brackets, you're almost always getting this rematch in the lowers. It's almost always going to be the same two teams, because generally you have one of those higher seeded signed teams that you're really expecting to make it out early. So this you now come into with some new ideas. Do you want to change your ideas in the map veto? Do you want to change against specifically the opponent you're playing? It gives you a lot more context, which can give opportunities for the team that lost the first time to upset in the second.
And as you touched on, this wasn't a game that we got to see yesterday, so it'll be fun today to kind of narrow in on these teams and kind of see exactly what they're about. So let's talk about this Infinity X roster here first, because there's definitely a couple interesting pieces to it as well. This, of course, was the team that ended up coming out victorious. Deal Smokes player absolutely popped off. Wyatt, I mean, this team was, I'm assuming, based off the stats and stuff, they're looking pretty good, so I'm excited to see what they're capable of today.
Yeah, looking at that previous game, which we didn't get to watch, as you mentioned, the numbers that were being put up, by the individuals on Infinity, pretty crazy. On the last map, which was very close on binds, Sadil put up 29 and 13 on the Barimi. On Split, Hezi, their new duelist player from Australia, also put up 29 kills. Pretty insane to bring them over the line in what were really close games. So I'm interested to see heading in today how much those wins in their previous match came down to the individual play versus the team play.
Yeah, and Wyatt, like you were mentioning, both these teams have made significant changes and are basically coming in as a new roster between GC2 and GC3. Both these kind of names for free agent squads have been floating around for a bit in the scene, but this is definitely some new faces here. So for those kind of star duelist players, for those new players who are getting an opportunity here, not only to be shown on the main broadcast, but also to have a rematch against that team that you just played, is a really great opportunity to try and, like you mentioned, meet the success that they had in the previous GC, or even start to try and push past that.
Yeah, and Wyatt, you're talking about the, oh, what is the individual duelist performance? What is the team performance? We can't really quite see what happened yesterday, but of course we can hear from the players themselves and what they have to say. This is coming out from the duelist of Infinity, as he's saying 2-1, Figure8 didn't play the best, but the team always got me. So kind of thinking that the team's a pretty good cohesive unit at this point, Mimi.
There's nothing I love like a duelist player posting a scoreboard after the match where they're match MVP and two of them being like, oh, sorry guys, I didn't do too well. Awesome.
Hey, they're just letting us know that there's a little bit more that we can expect coming out from them today. So I'll be excited to see hopefully a scoreboard with some higher numbers posted after today's match. Of course, they have to be taking down Figure8. Figure8, they did fall to Infinity last time around, but the matches being pretty close all around, I still think is then pretty exciting for what we can expect coming out from the squad, Wyatt.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking back previously in Game Changers, it was only Corn and Fruit Cup they were playing together. So they've made 3 changes between Stage 2 and 3 over the past month and a half or so, however much time it's been. So massive restructuring for this team. Obviously, eyes set on going past that marker that they had set for themselves in Stage 2, and we'll just see if these moves, were the ones they needed to make. If it's going to be enough to bring them to that goal that they have of making it further.
Yeah, definitely a really big rebuild coming in, but it is really just keeping those kind of 2 initiator players who had been with the team already, with Fruit, with Corn as that core, and then you are getting that new talent, like you mentioned in there, one of whom is Zev, who we were already talking about a little bit earlier, but I think that they were really impressive, at least stats-wise. Again, we don't have a lot of it, but they were doing pretty well individually, and it seemed like in particular was individually kind of diffing Hesi in the kill department, and also in those first kills. Both these players were super proactive with the first kill stats, getting in there, getting those openers a lot of the time for their teams, and that's kind of normally what you expect for these free agent squads. You're always going to see that cracked young player who's stepping up, having a lot of aggression, and that can really change the tide in games like this, especially in rematches where one little change in something like that individual performance, why it can really shift things around.
Yeah, absolutely. This is hopefully an opportunity to see the players of tomorrow, if that if that makes sense.
You sound like Walt
the
Disney.
like you know what I mean though, you know, because we got it's the upcoming players. There's a lot of young players in the server too. Like we're seeing the wave of talent and new people that are coming up because of the existence of game changers that were, you know, inspired to play by the veterans in this scene that we've been seeing over. Though it feels like funny to say veterans because the game's been out for like 3 years, but still, like the inspiration to play from this scene, the players that have been in it since the beginning, that are competing at the highest level in game changers, and it's given an opportunity for a totally new crop of players to rise up the ranks and try to get to the top. And just seeing a server full of a bunch of players that are inexperienced, pretty new, a lot of young players is very cool. Like we might be bearing witness to, you know, a raw talent that will eventually be developed into a top player. So that's my narrative, Mimi.
You're making me sad now that this is an elimination match and one of these teams isn't making it any further after all this talk of like, this is the young talent coming up through the scene. But hey, I'm excited for this nonetheless, especially since this is a rematch. I'm always interested to see where players' minds are at when we get into our map picks and bans, because we already got to see that little bit of history and how it went down with Infinity being able to take out that win. So this time around, we are going to have a little bit of a change up, Mimi.
Continuing to have no fun allowed. Breeze Sunset new map's going to be gotten rid of. That was the exact same as last time. And there is a change in things for the maps too. We're going to get to see Lotus, which we did not get to see in the mix last time. It was Haven, Split, Bind as a reminder there. So 2 repeat maps here. Haven last time 13-9 to Infinity, and Bind as well 13-10 to them. But Wyatt, I think a lot of the questions are going to come down to this Lotus map, because it looks like both these teams have very different ideas. Figure8 was playing the kind of more default Fnatic Raze comp, and it was actually Harbor Viper still last time that Infinity played this map.
Yeah, Lotus will be very interesting, but when we get to Haven, and if we do get to Bind, leaving those in, you have to expect that they've just done the prep in regard to, you know, if they were recording their own POVs, whatever it may be, going back and reviewing what went wrong in those games and having an understanding as to how to win in the rematch. And we see that a lot in Valorant, where when teams have an immediate rematch, the team that lost the previous one will win the next one a lot of the time. I wish I had some kind of stat or, you know, captivating number to give right now other than just straight up waffling, but I swear to God, there's a true fact in there somewhere.
Source,
if we get the research team on this.
Trust
I mean,
me,
yeah,
bro.
source, trust me. Please.
I believe in it. I think it's like 60% or something. I don't know. I can say any number. You guys don't believe me. No one's going to fact check that. But yeah, I think it is really like kind of a direct comparison, right? If you go back last night with your coach, the games you're going to be VOD reviewing are those 2 maps, the one that you ended up losing. So that's definitely an opportunity for this outcome to switch around, for Figure8, maybe to have an opportunity to beat Infinity in this 3rd matchup against them for the first time.
Well, the rematch with elimination on the line. It's time to head into our game, our first map of Lotus and the Agent Select. I'll see you two on the other side.
Cool. Thanks, Sierra. We're into things now, Wyatt, for the Agent Select. And it looks like both these teams pretty in line with like the meta comp for NA. It's just that Fnatic comp with the Omen instead of the Astra.
Yeah, and
or a Sky as well,
Jet.
sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, in this nerfed Jet world that we now live in, Raze is reigning supreme in the duelist category. Alongside that, on Lotus, you're just always going to see Viper, so important for working towards getting control in the grass area. Omen, super good on these 3-site maps, being able to have the global smokes, very crucial. I mean, this is all just really the standard stuff that you're going to be seeing on Lotus at the moment. There's a reason for it. These agents, hey, they're really good here.
If there's one thing I love talking about, it's a good old-fashioned duelist head-to-head. And we've got a good one here. The Razes are so important in this comp for extremity control, for those fast rotations in both the executes and the retake with the blast pack. So much of the comp is built around it. But we are hopping into things here. Infinity X versus Figure8. It's the 3rd time the two of them have met up, and it's a chance for only one to meet their best result previous, to make it into that closed qualifier, top 32, or be sent home. And we're starting off with this new map, and it's Infinity on attack.
As we'll often see here on Lotus, it looks like as well, we've got a lot of pressure coming towards this A side early on. You can see both skies, both rays. There's going to be nades. There's going to be a lot of flashes, Mimi.
Always will be. That nade will go in, and it looks like they want to get players positioned deep towards rubble. Information will be gained off that flash, and Hess is actually going to go in off of it. In close behind this wall, a bit of safety for the moment, but with that paranoia exchanged, it's the defenders keeping control of this one. Infinity will try and find a timing here on the pivot as they make noise towards this B site, but it's no committal just yet.
Figure8 gonna hold on to that A control. They have Quiz and Zevin entrenched deep there. And it looks like Infinity, they want to work back there. They gave up A, pressure towards B, hoping to draw away some of these A players. So they're going to re-clear with the dog, try and scale off the back of that Zev, intending on swinging off that flash. Not able to capitalize, though, with a kill. A bit of a lineup as the Infinity player is able to take down 2. They get this man advantage 4-on-3. And frankly, still fairly early in the round, 40 seconds to play with. They can take their time.
Look what Fruit Cup still has. Another flash available to send out towards A off a timing she likes and re-clear that space. Opportunity then to call the rotation off of him. But with no alarm bot towards C, the Molly's still in position there. Might not be able to achieve too much, as that is where Infinity looks to finish here.
They've picked the perfect site. Not a single player here to defend it. The remaining Molly going off, not going to do anything of significance. As the spike is going to go down in that nice position where you can spam from mound, and you can see Dawn on that late rotate over there with the ghost in hand. A nice setup here for Infinity.
Violet towards the spawn side. 2 players will push off, and it's a tough timing for Lila. Molly in hand, but support is there from Sidel, and it's a good cleanup here. Nice Molly to isolate the fight towards one side, and Violet will try and work her way into the site, but the time has already gone so far. And with only 19 HP, there shouldn't be an opportunity to take this one away. Infinity just looking to finish the formality, and it will be Sidel to do so.
Not an inch given from that setup in Infinity. Not going to play any games at all, locking up the pistol. I love how they played that round. The rotations were just fantastic. That a little bit of early pressure towards A, they fall off, work towards B, work back towards A. Deal with that setup, find the kills, get to the open site. I mean, every rotation there was just perfect.
Everything on point for them to get things started here. And I feel like it was a little awkward there in A main. You saw multiple times where they were attempting to commit in and deal with those entrenched players, but never quite able to do so. But finding the right timing to actually commit to that one after baiting out the paranoia, the flash early. It's super important. Be a slower round here for Infinity, just looking to hold for any aggression. And Dawn is already contending with it towards the middle. Alt Orb a priority for Figure8, but able to achieve that one. Spectre around the corner, and it's a quick cleanup for Dawn.
Yeah, lovely spray transfer from Dawn. A early advantage here for Infinity as it looks like they're going to clean up this round in flawless fashion. That they do. The team that beat Figure8 the last time they played just a day ago, and off to a great start here.
And this is something new for them. If you were looking ahead at what this team might be playing on the side of Infinity, Figure8 would probably have been looking at that Harbor Viper comp, that Jet comp that they haven't played in quite a while. So it's always a bit of a question mark what to expect, even though you are playing into the rematch. And that is part of the reason why I like the direction they went with this map veto. But of course, still a lot to play for. It's the bonus round, but the investment's going to be pretty good. Full Spectres, a couple Bulldogs to boot for Infinity, and again, they're going to be taking control towards the gate extremity.
This is going to be their opportunity to begin to run away with the game. All 5 of those bonus weapons carried over into this one. If they do take this round, their economy early on just going to be absolutely out of control.
Nessie will hold the angle. It's a classic double molly setup to anchor on this C site. Will be that alarm bot for the first piece of contact, and Infinity does look to want to commit to this one. Violet taking a bit of a risk and spots out 2, but nothing more. That'll call for the stall util to come in, but Hess is ahead of it. Paranoia combined with the dog. Is there someone to follow up? Not quite in time, but it does give opportunity to cross into this site. There's a lurker waiting. Keep that in the back of your head. What will this Killjoy do in the late round? Because Wyatt, the spike's on the move. They have 2 players in C that aren't committed to it.
Infinity are making an interesting call here. They've left these players in C.
The dog didn't clear
just expires before clearing them. As the rest of the players rotating back towards A, That kill, is it going to draw the rotate off here? Because Queasy is still in that position, close up A. Infinity, time running off the clock. They gave up that position in C. They can't get to A. They can't get through B. 20 seconds. They're just trying to walk in here, creep in off this Omen smoke. They're at least going to get to the site. Fruit Cup here could be the linchpin of the round victory. On the crossfire, Corn going to get the first. 10 seconds on the clock. Time is dwindled so low. Fruit Cup biding their time to deny the plant. 2 seconds to actually get back on the spike. The round is over as long as Fruit Cup can live. I don't know where those goals came from. And is going to barely be able, I mean, this is a mad situation. Barely able to survive. Huge economic damage done. What the hell was going on there?
I mean, I guess that's a Red Bull clutch challenge. Simply survive for a few seconds more. The mid-round got ridiculous there for Figure8. I think you can count 5 times, at least, where they decide to pull off, cancel that C hit, now rotate back in, now go back in. It was such a wild game of timings. But in the end, I just kind of feel like they overcooked it. It would have been fine if they'd committed back towards A or re-hit C late, but they ended up in this weird no man's land, which just leaves to the timer being their enemy at the end of the day. But despite all that, yeah, look at this money. A recession for Figure8, despite winning the round.
Another victim of the esports recession, Figure8. You hate to see it. Well, doesn't matter. That's Sheriff. Sheriff, still pretty good. 1 headshot, actually gets you a kill. That's crazy. That's going to trigger the INET team to go as fast as they can, though, into this A site, deal with Violet in the back. They just have to deal with this 3-person flank, though. They're coming fast and furious to the grass.
2 players to look at, Fruit Cup and Zeb, the 2 hero rifles, but again, it's simply going to be the Sheriff instead to pick one off for Corn. That's a Viper down. Another big piece of utility in the post plant. Off the table. Seekers will be invested. Time is being bought. It's Paranoia for Paranoia, which means this door is to stay closed for the moment. A slight angle. Zev finds it. It's Hesse down. And while the time is working in their favor, it's only 2 players left on the attack. Ashley, too many angles to contend with, but she finds the right timing as Tidell able to find 2 on the swing. 40 HP against the Sheriff of Corn. That spike needs to be tapped. And Corn needs to hold it. She's going all the way to half. Easy to stick. Not quite. Angle ready. It's Corn with the headshot. And that half defuse garners them the round. Figure8 somehow steal it away on their practically fully go after winning the previous round.
A terrible position they saw themselves in early on in this game. With what happened in that previous round, the economic damage. Sheriff's gonna be good enough to bring this one around, though. Those kills, they recovered the guns off that as well, able to get some Vandals, swinging things right back.
It's honestly all Corn. Getting those first 2 kills with the Sheriff and then being able to clutch up the round as well is massive. This time, though, they will have the rifles, but the game plan doesn't change. Still, this 3-2 setup with just Killjoy holding in mid, aggression towards A. Fruit Cup wants to take a duel on this one, but as he's not going to really give any opportunities, as Figure8 have kind of stuck to the trend. Entrench your Omen and then reset your defense in the mid-round.
They've had this same A setup 3 rounds now, aside from that previous eco in this game, where they take that early control. Infinity really don't want to fight through the doors early at all. They don't want to deal with that nade, the flash, none of that. So they give it up. And then again, it's Zev and Queasy just taking this deep space on A. Infinity rotating off, prodding towards B, prodding towards C. We've seen this story before, but it's a matter of Infinity's rotations and how they're actually going to, try and spread these defenders around the map. Because last time in this situation, they got way too crazy with the rotations.
Lockdown is gained off that orb grabbed, and don't commit it towards the C site. 2 defenders here, and they have lots of molly. So despite this blocking them off, they'll just stall things out for about a few more seconds. Hesse gonna eat a lot of damage off those mollies, but check out Lila. She's ready to punish on this flank, but the timing just off. Zev takes her down, but that is information. Infinity have to make a move, and they'll make the decision to push towards the spawn side. Paranoia forward, a dog 2 reply, so no kills coming just yet. This fight might just be the round with those flankers encroaching. It has to be now for Hesse to make her stand. 1 kill, but it's Fruit Cup trading back for 2. Now Dawn becomes a bit of a flanker of her own, and the only player left for her squad. It's not enough. Figure8 pinch on the site, shut things down for their 3rd.
A fantastic retake, coming in through every single angle. Fruit Cup's flashes just paying dividends there. You could see that take back towards the top side of C. That flash blinding 2 players, fully
Yes.
stopping Zadil from actually being able to help their teammate on the swing. Just a clinical retake.
Beautiful stuff out of them. Thus far, it seems like this control they're getting towards A every round has been really important into their late rounds. That round, it was the double reflank. In other rounds, it was just leaving that solo Omen to hold that space. I'd love to see the attackers re-clearing that space, being a little bit more proactive of pressuring these players out once they invest that util. Because every round, it's the nade and the sky flash literally right off the rip.
Infinity really are encumbered by that lack of A control, and a different look here from Figure8. They've made this adjustment on A. They just threw the nade and they left. They're like, yeah, they're not retaking this. they never come back into A. They actually have a slow lurk this time from Lila, so a good round to opt for that, playing off the Viper wall to take some space and gain some information. Infinity again working towards C, the same round open we have seen previously.
They'll break the utility and back away. And actually catch a kill out of that one. I think Fruit Cup just peeking up over the top of that Omen smoke and being taken down. This will now be the call for the rotation. We were just talking about how Infinity has not been capitalizing off of this A control for Figure8, and this time they have a lurk. Lila is entrenched close, ready to hit the switch and take the site with her team. Figure8 only have 1 player here to hold, and rotation's going to be pretty far away. But with that spot coming early onto the Viper, there might be time to bring support over.
They are going to go for this execute, just going to boombot through the wall. Cloud down for the stairs, a bit of an Omen smoke as well. Nades to deny any cheeky push through. No Stewie 2K smoke criminal nonsense going to be happening in that one. You're going to get the plant down in a fairly safe position. Bunker down towards Tree. There's going to be a flank from Violet coming in, but alarm bot down from Dawn. Every little detail being monitored right now on this post plant.
Violet is already working her way up on a flank. There is a turret to watch this one, but this pinch, again, could be crucial. We saw these flanks be really effective in the last round for Figure8, but she has to take down Dawn, and the headshot comes through past the wall. Turret is down, no more flank watch, and with that door being pressed soon, these players are going to be under so much pressure. It's Hessie, isolated alone. Zev takes her down. The showstopper on the other side. Popped as well. It's a connection for one. Only 30 HP, but it's Queasy Elm in a clutch. And not much time to work with. Tap on the spike, swing from Lila. But there was no chance of closing that one out. Infinity take things home to tie us at 3.
Really nice post plant setup. They had the T's crossed and the I's dotted. They knew the positioning of every single Figure8 player, where exactly they were coming from. This was a great kill from Violet to actually make things doable, but the rest of those positions, the players locking down Tree, crucial. Hezzy on the site, making that ultimate pay dividends as well. Great setup overall.
Strong work from them. That'll break a good streak of momentum. 3 in a row that Figure8 were able to pick up. Will there be a change of approach, though? As far as the defenders seem to be continuing with the same theme. Sky Flash, Nade. This time they will put a player close A. Maybe trying to punish the lurk that Lila achieved last round, and you see that she's already having to back away from that space.
Yeah, it's that Raze Omen duo yet again for the defensive side. Locking down A yard. And this time they're holding it as they did previously. That one round aside, they don't want to let Lila take that free space ever again.
These last few rounds, though, in particular just the last 2, Violet's utility has been being taken down, and she's not really been playing in a position where she can defend it. You see that one Omen smoke going up on C, and those blast packs going in. That's been enough to break the util in most of these rounds, but I think it did miss out this time. So there is still that alarm bot, that molly to work with, and there is still this Omen ready towards the A side. Dogs coming in. Will it clear? Queasy Elm, I don't think it's seen her just yet. And it jumps right on past. No one has any idea about her position, but not able to capitalize for more than one. You saw the attempt at the bait from her teammate swinging through the wall, but it ends in a 4 versus 3 with Infinity in control and making the call to pivot to B.
Off those Seekers, they're going to know that not a soul is in this site. They're going to get a nice free plant down. 4 on 3. Fruit Cup. Seekers on the opposite side. We'll see if they want to commit those. This is a really good position from Lila. Corn has no idea. But going for this long backstab. The timing is so awkward for Dawn. We're calling the bot. Going to go down now. And you can see Lila backtracking to get that trade. Finds the timing just before Corn turned that corner. paranoia for a bit of further delay. And now this is so tough to deal with.
2 flashes though.
Those actually swing off of that. And Sadie, oh my god, just crispy on that second one. The post-plant setup, fantastic. Crossfires activated. Again, another nice setup from that Infinity side.
Figure8 maybe moving a little bit too slow in that retake. They had a lot of focus on trying to re-pinch in and get this one going with control of Lady Door, but it was instead just 2 players kind of taking these fights one by one and losing out to that right flank that came through from Lila. It was a bit of an awkward round, but it's another good one for the attack, and that will finally reset the economy here for Figure8.
Time for a field test.
I really like the Infinity adjustment towards the A side on the previous 2 rounds. Their play on A is what netted them those 2 round wins. And this time, they're going to leave Lila to just walk out off the cloud, off the wall, get some of that early space, and going to discover that they're all alone here. No defenders in sight.
Violet playing close. Only a stinger for her to work with, and she's about to be under a lot of pressure. The dog coming through the revolving door. This A site has that one sole defender. And it is going to be a commitment, it looks like, here for Infinity, as that door was opened up, but they're still taking their time on this one. And now this might become a little bit risky. You already see the flank coming through. But into B, Dawn goes. No util was holding this, so the Killjoys claim this piece completely for free, and the spike's down.
I'm really impressed by these Infinity rotations. That round aside where they overdid it, rotated one too many times, explored the map as if rounds were 4 minutes to be played. That one aside, they have done an excellent job really dragging the defenders around and exploiting the open sites.
And it's another flawless round for them. The reward out of that one. Yeah, really good mid-round decision-making there. I think they've started to figure out where Figure8 is being proactive. Because really all it is really push for A control, and then they're really holding pretty far back and going for these late double flanks. You see in this round, 2 players from Infinity ready to punish there. You see in the late round, they're re-pushing to take A control. These adjustments have been excellent to now get them 3 rounds of their own in a row.
And big credit to Lila, who's been the critical factor on this A side. Is we're gonna have the same opening over there again, Mimi. Except it's one of those rounds where the Figure8 players are not actually going to commit to holding close. You have Infinity taking control on the C side. This is just the story of Lotus, isn't it? It's just all about the early round map control on opposite sides of A and C.
It is. And Violet kind of has 2 duties in conflict now. She has a lockdown, but also an operator. So she wants to stay on the site to get a shot as they're coming in to get something done. But she also needs to stay alive into a retake to use that lockdown. Fortunately for her, it doesn't look like Infinity will commit to that site. Instead, they're redoubling their efforts towards B. It's Fruit Cup's opportunity to hold on to this one.
Majority of the players just working towards B here. Actually, Ashley just walking in. She's getting some great info, taking the duel, finds the entry as well, immediately going to get the spike down. And now these retaking players, if you look at the minimap, they're going to have to deal with a flanker on total opposite sides.
So much pressure coming in as it's a flash forward for Hessian. She actually ends up dying out of that one. This was a 5v4 that's quickly been dismantled down to only 2 players. Ashley will come back in with a chance for her team. They're fractured, the positioning on these 2 players, but Dawn does have nano swarms. We'll use one, but it's another shot for Ashley. She's just doing it all as it's a push forward, and it's the ultimate down. Only Korn left remaining, and with a knife out, somehow Dawn dances her way out of a bad situation. Spike's about to explode, and Korn knows it. She has to run, she has to hide. This is such an advantage for Infinity, but it's all slipped away from them.
Figure8, a crucial round to lose there, frankly. Economy in shambles at this point. They're going to have this hero rifle, but that's really about it unless they try and force into it around it. They're going to pick up a second rifle. They're going to take the timeout because it looks like they were scrambling a bit with the weapons there, frankly. It didn't look like they knew what they wanted to do. And at this point, they're definitely going to have to make adjustments. That early control towards A, which was the crucial factor in netting round wins, has gone out the window. Infinity have figured out how to play around that effectively. This is crucial right now for Figure8 to come back into this half. This is their map pick, and in the previous game that these 2 teams played, Infinity won Haven, the next map, and if it goes to 3, they won Bind. So you have to imagine that Figure8 have so much riding on this one right here.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that was Figure8's really good opportunity to try and pull things back. They had leveled the odds back into their favor, and then they let it slip right back away in a clutch. And it's got to almost feel reminiscent of some of these previous games that they've played against Infinity, where they're playing in overtime, just barely getting a win over the line, and then the very next map, things slip out of their hands. It's a situation they've been in before, and with elimination on the line, keeping that mental steady, not letting the mistakes of the past repeat themselves is going to be very important. As this round, they have nothing but a hero rifle. It's just Corn with the Vandal in the mix, trying to make something happen.
There's going to be some early action here towards C on this bad buy. Figure8 want to get aggressive. Fruit kept taking that early peek with the Sheriff. Just going to get swung on. Teammates unable to help because of that one-way smoke that was placed by Sadil. Going to punish Fruit Cup, get into this 5-on-4 as things continue to look quite rough here for the Figure8 side. The team that made numerous roster changes heading into Stage 3 from their Stage 2 placement. Corn and Fruit Cup, Core 2, surrounding themselves with 3 new players. Both of these teams as well, just trying to make it further than they did in that previous stage. Both of them actually went out in the lower round 1 in the bracket they're trying to qualify into right now. So one of these teams, no matter what, they are going to go out earlier than they did in the previous stage, earlier than they hoped to do. These teams pining for a victory here and to get further than they ever have in Game Changers in the past.
Infinity, something new. Quick pop into that B side. It's a flash forward, and it's for one, but the spike will be planted, and damage is done. Corn down to just a sliver of health on the top side. Does she keep the Vandal or hand it over to someone else? Violet's in position to take it over, and she will grab that weapon, but what can she do with it? 3 versus 4 on the work back in, and Molly's on that spike to buy plenty of time. You see the paranoia as well set up off that initial tap to find a punish. Hessie on the angle, spots out one and lines it up for a second as well. Hessie is on for the ace here, and with damage done onto Violet, it's a good opportunity, but it's not to come. Attacker lockdown was already committed, and while Violet is trying to get something done, there's just really not a chance of it. Infinity, another. It's 4 on the trot now, up to their 7th round.
Lockdown committed, perhaps unnecessarily. That was an advantage that they should be winning an overwhelming majority of the time anyhow. And the lockdown could have been crucial to lock up one of these final rounds, this one in particular, where Figure8 are going to be back on the bye and their economy hangs in the balance. Potential error, we'll see if it ends up actually costing them at all.
Last 2 rounds in the half here, and Figure8 is investing the buy. They have 2 ultimates behind it, but not really anything you can build a full round off of. On the way, in good position, and Fruit Cup just falling off of that one. Here's this nade we've seen before into the corner, and it's effective. Queasy Elm taken down. I don't think that's really where the nade was supposed to land, but it all works out in the end.
Working back towards A now. These C fights not going well for Figure8 whatsoever. 2 rounds in a row. Clearly dispatched from that area. I mean, at the very least, maybe Violet can make something happen. Maybe get a lucky spray kill, but doesn't seem to be in the cards as the site is taken with relative ease. Spike plan inevitable.
5v3 here. Figure8 has been in this situation many a time before, trying to make a desperate retake happen. There's got to be that thought in the back of your mind, maybe we save, try and get something into the last round, but really at this point, you just need rounds, and they're going to make a go at things. Drop into the site, rocket pop for Hessie, and the flashes combined perfectly to take down Violet. The Raise wheel bound away from the paint shell on the other side, and as she drops into the pit in the backline, it's Ashley ready on the angle to finish up the round. Infinity looking clean.
Ashley with a nice flash there to set up Hezzy to knock it down. Hezzy's really gone crazy in these past couple rounds. The young Australian duelist, upcoming player to keep your eyes on for sure. The one addition to this Infinity team, the one change from their placement back in Stage 2, perhaps the key to taking them to the next level, the key to bringing them past the line that they fell at previously in the lower round.
Okay. Corn's got a buggy. Last round and a half, and the economy's not in a great place, so they're going to try and make something work. It'll be the Judge upgrade in the end, but it's the same story, same tale that we've seen time and again. Aggression towards one extremity. Will it be a different ending to the book this time? Zeb running things down with the showstopper, but They're not going to find anyone on the other side. Instead, it's Infinity just waiting, chilling at this point. It's still a 5v5. Their opponent has invested a ton of utility, and they have plenty of time to re-clear this space. See with the dog around the corner. It only spots out one there. Paranoia will go in from both sides. Now that Omen's position will be known, but again, it's just the util running away here for Figure8, and Infinity staying in control.
All in the meanwhile, Lila has gotten space on A. Yet again, just working off the wall, finding opportunities to expose the holes in the defense. Lila has been fantastic on this lurk. It's not always about getting the kills. It's time and time again, she's just getting the space, and it's allowing Infinity to make great rotations in the mid-round.
Oh no, knife out for Dawn. She's caught by Queasy Elm, but into the site, the Viper's pick is committed, and the A site is taken. Spike actually heading to B instead. Never mind, just wanted to kill. Just gonna poke and prod wherever you wish. The Infinity players feeling confident at this point will drop their own hit as they take the site and look to close out this round in a 2-up situation. But it is this double flank. Figure8 have been sneaking their way around all the way from the spawn side. And might be able to catch someone off guard, but Ashley, too astute at her duties, already spots out both of these players. They're suspicious of the rewalk through spawn, but there's really no angle, no opportunity to get back into this one. A second smoke committed in their face, and Infinity just waiting to hold the line. Flash in, and both of them down. Clean for Ashley to end the half 9-3.
Overall, just a fantastic half from Infinity. So impressed from start to finish with their rotations. Genuinely only one round where they messed up that aspect of their game. As I was saying in that round, a lot of it was on Lila. Once they cracked the code on that defensive setup from Figure8 towards A, she was constantly exposing the holes there. Whenever she wasn't feeling the pressure from that raise and Omen, she was able to just silently walk up, play off the wall, which was denying vision from the stair side or the baby door over on A, taking all that space so Infinity could rotate back there after pressuring B, pressuring C. It was just excellent. Really, really nice work from the lurking Viper.
But it's a pretty attack-sided map. You got 3 rounds. It's not the worst. It's possible, but it's really got to start here in the pistol round for Figure8. They'll hop back into things with a hit towards this B site. But will already spot out the dog, and the player following it on up. So the Spike biding its time, not being committed just yet. As you see, Infinity has already rotated quite heavily.
They're going to open that door just to pressure some kind of rotation towards C, but it's just going to be Violet walking up, breaking some of that KJ utility. Going to force the Viper to use a loud as well. That's a molly down. That's some of the, energy on the cloud wasted as that's put up. They might be able to find a timing to wait that out and hit, but no, they're just going to explode into B, flash through the Omen smoke. Viper walls up to cut off the baby door angle, and they're going to be able to get that plant down near the box. Actually, plant stopped. They're not going to be able to get it in, but that baits Hezi into peeking. This is getting extremely awkward. The Infinity players are trying to take these really strange fights towards baby door. They're going to get punished from Horn coming from the opposite side and opening that up. A side is going to be free. 3-on-2. Horn getting into a position where they're going to be in a crucial fight here. 1-on-1 against Lila. A position in which there's no crossfire setup. There's no player able to swing. Gets the kill, though. That should seal the deal and put the nail in the coffin on this pistol.
Unless Dawn can make something happen. 1v3. Horn does seem to have lineups from that long angle, staring at the ceiling, and that might just be the end of this one already. No players giving an opportunity for Dawn to get something done. Zev ready for first contact. She's going to try and hold on to this one, but Zev from around the corner will swiftly shut things down. Big pistol round there for Figure8.
Certainly not going to count them out of this game whatsoever. They kept it oh so close against Infinity in the previous match that we've been talking about. These two teams, it went to all 3 maps with OT games, close, like 13-10 type score lines. So this truly could go either way. This is the Figure8 map pick, so we'll see what they've been working on this attack side, and if what they've been working on their attack side will actually be enough to drag them through a tumultuous comeback.
Three players through mid here for Figure8. Just thinking their space there. As on the other side, it's a heavy stack towards C from Infinity on the C goat round. I do like already, early on, they were seeing indications of Figure8 being really willing to rotate around on this map, make a priority out of breaking that turret in middle, out of finding that alarm bot. That's something that I think was hurting Infinity in the first parts of their attacking half as well. So identifying that early on, going to be really important as Corn already getting a lurk here towards that.
Let's deal that. Omen for Infinity, putting up some extremely impressive numbers so far in this tournament. A player to watch, certainly. Going to be crucial anchoring here on this defensive side at times. It's just this three-person push from Infinity all the way out of C. They've garnered so much information. You can see the players here on Figure8, they're going to get this A side for free. Just going to have to cover a whole lot of flanks at this point, but with the superior weapons, that shouldn't really be a problem anyhow.
Shouldn't do. Infinity going to send 3 back through the baby door. Have to announce their presence by breaking that one down before they can take any space on this A site. Already seeing Figure8 having a bit of a different approach to their post-fight. Both rounds now, they've had 2 players really far back, playing with the mollies, with those lineups to have options in the late round. Could prove potent if Infinity is having some slower retakes later in this half. For now, it does seem like their priority is just dying to this spike, trying to find a kill here or there. Will make their way onto the site. This half going through, but it's an easy cleanup here. Flawless round for Figure8.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is essentially, I mean, not even essentially, this is exactly what we saw on the previous side, where the team that won the pistol was able to get a full, flawless round on the second. Infinity, they weren't able to capitalize with a bonus round win. They did a hell of a lot of economic damage. We'll see if Figure8 can do something similar here. A bonus round win would be a massive turning point in this game, though. That could be the reason that they get back into it, the reason that if a comeback does come to fruition, it, you know, that could be the cause.
This is always the moment where something like that starts to happen. It's again this aggression towards A that we've seen so much throughout this map thus far. Raise Nade, Omen TP's up top, and you can't really contest past that one, as it is the same default setup for Figure8.
Gonna work now towards B. Hezi, that new player for the Infinity side. Young upcoming duelist, gonna be trying to lock things down from heaven. Smoked off, mollied off, not gonna be able to even really fire a reasonable shot here. Maybe some spam through. Not even gonna happen. The spike is gonna go down. And now you can see all these Spectres on the side of Figure8. They're gonna be fine in B. Obviously not as good as the rifles, but when you get close range, they're gonna be as effective as they could. That flash not going to be swung off, but info is going to be gathered. And look at this pinch. Violet's actually coming from the south side of A. They're going to be able to flank these Infinity players. Crunched right there, going down. Now into the 3-on-3. I mean, what is that with the satchel spray with the Phantom? That is obscene. Now just trying to fight back Violet as the stick onto the spike is coming in. Corn has to find a timing to swing, gonna get one. That is the spike diffuser. All on Violet now, out of ammo. Actually gonna be able to find that kill. In the meantime, the spike was getting diffused. Hell of a lot of damage done, though, to the Infinity side.
All 5 players dropping, but it is the round for Infinity. I think one of the biggest issues there was honestly the plant position for Figure8. When you're planting in that little divot in the middle of the B site, it's so hard for you to play a post plant from off site. I've already seen this theme in a lot of their rounds where Violet and Corn really early on are committing to these further back positions, trying to play off their mollies, trying to deny a flank, which isn't inherently bad, but when you're planted like that, it becomes so hard to hold on to the spike site, especially when your site players like Quezium, like Zev, were forced really early in that retake to fight forward.
Looking here towards Corn on this attacking side to be effective on those lurks. They've been playing well so far. We saw from Lila how impactful the Viper can be on this map. I'm going to be looking in that direction here as well. So impressive, though, Ashley and Hezi for this side on Infinity. We're talking a fair amount about Hezi, but Ashley, not just in the individual fragging game, has been solid, but the setup with the flashes have been really nice, both for themselves, but so many times now we've seen the perfectly timed flash to set up a teammate too. So it's across the board, impressive Sky gameplay so far.
Yeah, and Sky is so important in this comp when you're playing on the defensive side. It's really your only piece of information to mid-round off of. If you're re-clearing a flash towards C, re-clearing towards A, it's all off the timings of that Skybird. Again, same deal that we've seen many a time. Made in, Omen TP's up top, and Figure8, guess where they're headed? Towards the B site to break some Killjoy utility.
We'll see if they try and actually do something fast off the back of this. That was a lot of noise from Infinity over on A. Things have staggered a little bit here as the Boombot is going to go all the way through that wall. Not going to be broken. The alarm bot going off on the A side, so Korn weary of the pressure. And with that Omen smoke down, they could theoretically be walked all the way up into lobby. So Figure8 are really going to be feeling some pressure right now.
It's at least 10 more seconds of fear that you have to have of someone swinging back through that Omen smoke and finding a bit of a timing on you. Rotates have been fast for Infinity. There's already 3 players towards the C site, but Figure8 still haven't really decided on a finish. They could pivot back through the doors to B, or they could still pop on the C site.
That was a very silly little crouch walk peek across the thing. That was interesting. Could have gotten punished. But that alarm bot was never broken on B, so you can see a lot of these players from Infinity are on the right site. 25 seconds left. They're trying to wait out this Viper smoke. There are 3 players entrenched on C. Yes, they have bad weapons, but with this little time on the clock, things are not going to really be well organized. The Seekers are popped. They have 12 seconds. Satchel in from Zev going to capitalize off the Seekers. Stick down 2 of those players, Lila and Ashley. They're going to be waiting for that next round. There's 1 player left on site. The KJ trying to maybe deny the plant. The only hope of winning this out. Okay, random spam through the Viper's pit. Love to see that. That's cool. That's very cool. And from here, though, things should calm down. It was getting very scrappy with that load time on the clock. With Viper's pit in play, things should be nice and easy from here. Reason should take back over.
It should be, right?
Should.
Like, Sidel shouldn't win.
No, and she doesn't. Exactly.
It's all good.
The game
Everything
played
is
as
happy.
intended.
All is sunny. Everything is beautiful. I think a little bit of an overheat there from Figure8, though. They really let that clock whittle down without re-clearing A or breaking that Killjoy utility. It means they have no option but to kind of panic hit this C site at the very end of the round. And then they also, after kind of getting control of the situation, immediately after commit the Viper's pit. It's really easy in those kind of high-pressure situations to just be like, okay, we need to win this round. We can't let this slip away. We invest the pit. But those kind of little investments can come back to hurt you later because you see the ult economy starting to swing the way of Infinity. They're just around the corner from their Raze Rocket, from their Viper's pit. Some big tools here to try and close out these last 3 rounds for the defenders.
Both teams on attack really not interested in contesting A too hard. They're perfectly fine with giving it up after getting the nade out of the Raze, one of those flashes out. So very similar story to how the first half went. This time, prodding deep enough into B to correct the mistake from the previous round and break that alarm bot. Instill some questioning in the defensive side as to where they need to rotate.
This time, alarm bot will be broken on the B side. And they'll start to pivot to re-clear space in C. Paranoia used for that endeavor. Maybe Figure8 actually want to make a hit out of this one, or at least a fake, possibly. They're going to go in and break this. That could be the timing to go on a B execute, but they're continuing to just bide their time here. Try and see if they can find an opportunity, get a pick. And it's not them to get it. Hessie instead, she finds an angle, and it's the rocket to reply, but it misses out completely, and hey, Hessie's does too. Ashley, though, an opportunity to come through the smoke and punish onto this Raze, who actually hasn't been spotted. Now things get a little bit weird, because Zev has walked their way all the way deep through B. They've dodged that flash, and they've taken it down. One Hessie on the other side is claimed as well. Well, all that's going on, Spike has been planted. Infinity, they're going to go fast into this one. Dawn taking down the second of the round, and the nade at the feet of the Omen on the site will make this one tough. Zev has done a lot already. The satchel is perfect. Sidel has got it to halfway,
so
but they found the shot at the last second with 1 HP off the satchel. The defuse comes through.
Zev trying to do it all on that round. Figure8, they made the right adjustments as well. Immediately off of what lost them the previous round, they worked the map, breaking all the KJ utilities really nicely. There was that very awkward ult exchange in B. There was Sub versus Rosa on the site, just whipping every rocket imaginable. But still, Figure8, I love how they played that round. Zev tried so hard to win it out, but it was really on the opposite side. Dawn, entrenched in that site, able to find 2 kills to even things up. Excellent play.
Both teams going, by the way. Very weird situation for the economy here. We have Sheriffs out on both sides of the server. So this is going to be a pivotal round. Whomever wins here could put in the blow to close things out. For Infinity in particular, they win this round. They're just 1 away from closing out the map. Figure8, of course, needing this to try and make the comeback a possibility. This was their map pick, and after this they go into 2 maps they lost just yesterday. This very same squad of Infinity.
Do you think Figure8 know that they're going up against a really weak buy on the other side? This is actually
There's no way.
So
Both
winnable.
of these teams probably think they're the only one going.
This is so winnable for them, and they probably don't expect it. They're dropped down from Hezzy. What is happening? Hezzy with the Bucky. You are joking me.
Yeah, that's a funny gun. I honestly thought we were past the era of Valorant where races could just have funny double satchel in, I have a Bucky, and win a round off of that. Evidently not.
30 seconds
He's
left.
still getting it done. And it's silly, but it might just be enough to win a round, because it's only Violet. And a 1v3. Paranoia on the other side. Still a Bucky in Hessy's hands. Clearly a pretty potent weapon to go up against. The Paranoia won't find anything. And Violet will give away her position, but just look at that clock. 10 seconds left on the timer.
10 seconds left.
There's just no way she can win this. Jump in, and it's Hessy with the Bucky. Again, cool.
Yeah, this is the exact G Fuel IV drip in the veins of a young Zoomer duelist gameplay that I want to see, Mimi.
15 cans of Red Bull before this game, I heard.
As the young 17-year-old duelist upcoming player that was picked up by this Infinity team in the off-season. And that's why, basically. I mean, maybe that's not exactly, but that's part of the package, you know what I mean? It's a part of the overall cracked out young
I really like
duelist
that
package.
she switches to her knife and back to the Bucky after every shot, like it's an operator. I think that's really cool, personally. But anyways, no Bucky in this round. It's instead map point for Infinity X. 1 round away. We're closing this one out in Figure8. This time, we'll deal with some aggression towards the C site with that nade coming through. That will draw them into A, where this round, Killjoy is set up and ready for them.
See Lila over by that tree side. On backing up towards the stairs. Lock down for the retake if they need it. And look at this push all the way out C as well from Infinity. The attacking lockdown is actually going to go down towards A. Will they hit A? Will they hit B? Figure8 have some options here. They're taking their sweet time as Lila's forced back into drop, and now they're going to work themselves into A. They've got to know it's a possibility a player could be back here, and damn right they do. Here comes the molly. Here comes another molly. So Lila is under some serious pressure, taking no damage though, so
She's fine.
that's nice and convenient. All good.
It's okay. No worry whatsoever for Lila. Lockdown instead. Coming through from her teammate to help out. Queasy being pushed straight into this flank, and Sidel's ready for it. Doubling up. Zev will manage to trade back. Dawn, great angle there. Swinging through the cloud, but on the other side. Fruit Cup has done just the same. 2v2 now. Tap on the spike and a smoke working in their favor. Corn, spam away at Hessy, but another tap has to come through. They know that these players are off the spike, and Hessy's taking a risk. Headshot through the box, but can the spam come the other way? Absolutely. Corn keeps Figure8 alive.
The glimmer of hope for Figure8. Corn has been playing very well so far this entire map. You can see the top fragger on the side of Figure8. The one player for the team holding them in this game, holding them in on Lotus to their own map pick. They go down here. You have to imagine they're going to be in dire straits. In their previous game, as previously mentioned, Haven and Vine, the next 2 maps coming up, were the maps that Infinity won against Figure8. It certainly feels like this is a map they need to win. I mean, it's their pick after all.
Gotta take this one home. Have to make this comeback a reality. They want a better route to staying. What? Hessy? Sensitivity a little too high. They're flicking up at the sky for no reason. All good. Not to matter because no one's coming towards their site. Instead, Zev coming into heaven with the rocket, and somehow that does not kill Ashley. She survives by a glimmer of health and keeps her util up to make this retake happen. A flank coming through. It's Lila pushing her way forward, and she might just have the timing to punish on these players towards Mount. Will they be suspicious? Will they be ready? Corn always is. It's a dink from the other side, but it's a Vandal for Corn to win that one out. Now damage on Ashley becomes an issue because this retake is coming slowly. They still have an operator on the work back in, and it's timing for Sanford. Where does she look? Where is she ready? Not in time for Hesse. Shot to connect, but that spike not being defused just yet, and the time is whittled down so damn far. It's only Hesse alone, and all she can do is recover her operator and run.
Gonna satchel out of harm's way. Save that operator as Figure8 trying to make a very difficult comeback happen. Corn almost walking into that crosshair. Almost an opportunity to take the last gun away, but not going to happen. That off is going to be carried over, and the economy not looking good on the Infinity side. Figure8 starting to string something real together here. I'd like to see them try and fight for some of these orbs, maybe get Corn the plant as well, so you can have the Viper's Pit into the next full gun round, but it actually looks like Infinity, they just want to force up around this off. They've got a Spectre, they've got a couple rifles. They're risking a pretty significant amount on this round. And Dawn as well picks up the Ares, the mini Odin for the papier-mâché walls on this map.
Or the Judge. The mini.
Oh, or the Judge.
I guess. It's pretty good as well.
Bucky.
Hesse. Missing a shot there. Missing a second shot there. Sit out. Make up for things here. There we go. Right opportunity. And to kill. Onto Violet. Love that change from Infinity to get the opener.
She missed on purpose. It was all a bait. And it worked perfectly.
Switch.
It was all a bait.
They're brilliant.
In the 5-on-4 in this forced up round. Looking to put the game to a close as Queasium is caught on the other side of the rotating door. Trey not able to come in. Vulnerable up by the Molly as well, but Zev, the perfect lineup, and now Lila weak, stuck behind the tree, is just going to go down to the run and gun from Fruit Cup. Made perfectly timed as well. Going to force Ashley out. Zev with another fantastic round. Putting up a great performance here late into the second half.
I don't even know how Zev got as deep as they did. Somehow behind two defenders, backstabbing them as they run forward and line up without even realizing there's a risk. It's a wild round, but it sure is Figure8 taking this one home again after, honestly, a great start by Infinity with that change up towards C.
I'm checking in right now on the believers, Mimi. What is the believer status right now? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking the believers, they're at about 63.5% belief.
Okay, we're almost there. We're getting the belief is definitely rising.
If they kill the op here and get rid of Hesse, that's a bit more belief. Let's see. Believers increasing.
67.5%, 4% increase right off the back of that. Hesse's gonna get the forced up little hero rifle here, but because they forced everything into that round, the economy crumbled. They're gonna have, you know, a few okay weapons here and there to maybe make some magic happen. Surely this doesn't end in the tragic fashion where Figure8 gets the team that's in the lead on the eco, on the comeback, and then you lose to the eco. Surely.
Surely. Also, surely they don't just force every round and eventually their economy gets crushed and then it goes to overtime and then Figure8 wins and then the believers believe. Surely that doesn't happen.
Surely.
We'll see what ends up happening. It's going to be a change-up again for Figure8. This time, I thought it was going to be a bit more aggressive towards B, but it's still just the same old, same old. Pull up, break the killjoy, util. Instead, the change is coming from Infinity. Want to make a play of things here. Teleport above Corn. Not going to work out quite in time, and Corn just going to hopscotch away from that whole situation. I would too.
A fantastic entry kill. You won't see a cleaner one than that, man. You won't see a cleaner one than that.
I don't know why Corn's not playing Duelist.
Absolutely. They're working towards C. They're going to deal with this KJ utility, get everything popped off. The alarm bot is broken. Sight for free. Viper's Pit in the hands of Corn. Doesn't even need to be used, to be honest. Maybe they'll commit it anyway, just to lock things up. We shall see.
There's one thing I love about Figure8 is that they represent the whole food pyramid. Corn and Fruit Cup.
So true. Protein?
Balanced
we don't
diet.
need that in 2023. Goodbye,
Absolutely
chicken.
Rev's got the Or excuse me, Zev's got the Red Bull as well. That's the final one on there. But there is still a round at hand here. It is just Nico, sure, but surely nothing more will come out of that one. Paranoia to push players away. The flank has been recognized, and it's just a judge playing for exits. Lila maybe trying to snack up a rifle here before the round does come to its conclusion. The pilot's ready on the angle, and both players go down. Double digits for Figure8.
Believer status, I'm at 77%. 77% for the Believers. The Believers might be up good. We're 2 rounds away. We are 2 rounds away from them being up so good. I want to check back in on the ult status here in a moment as well for the Figure8 side. Yeah, Fruit Cup 1 away from the Seekers. They've carried the Viper's Pit over. They might be able to work a couple of these orbs, maybe the plant, get Violet near lockdown, or Zev near that Raze rocket. Ultimate's going to be so crucial on these final 2 rounds.
Cornell back away from the nade is Infinity. Again, going for their classic. 3 strong towards A, slowly push towards the one-way, maybe eventually fight through that one. They haven't really found a variation off of that's found success, because thus far Figure8 is just ignoring the space taken in A. But this time it will be a commitment to this triple flank, and there might be a player caught off guard before. Is she ready? Not in time. Fidel takes her down, and it's now 5 versus 4. Another round that Figure8 needs to recover. They do have the B site back.
Struggled with their B post plants previously. Zev gonna take some aggressive space. This is something they didn't really do in the past. They're actually just gonna work all the way through. They're not even gonna plant on B. They are flipping the sides of the map. Hey guys, that's you're in the defender's spawn.
Where are the defenders now?
Where are we working this from here? Dawn might get a nasty surprise in a moment. No, sound being made, running. Has to deal with the double swing and goes down. We're in a 4-on-3. 3 of the attacking players are on the defender side of the map. Hezi, who's been a fantastic risk for the Infinity side, misses another rocket. I mean, when Riot said abilities don't kill in Project A, they meant it. They goddamn meant it.
Hezi, another chance here to make good on the damage dealt by that rocket. Satchelin won't find the connection, won't get anyone off that plant. Zev in the close corner, only 1 HP to speak of. Tough timing for Lila. She goes down. Violet takes it L as well. And it's only Hesi left to try and clutch this one up. The nade, it could be massive damage done. A kill onto 1. And Queasy Elm stuck out in connector. But Hesi doesn't know. And there's time for her to work with. The Fuse already stuck halfway. And a fresh set of bullets in her Vandal. 18. To work with a tap on the spike. Queasy Elm on the other side, but the shot's not hitting. Another tap, another chance. Where's the swing? When is it coming? Not in time. The Red Bull clutch to close thing out. 13-10. It's Infinity X with a stick and the first map.
That is a tough way to go out on your own map pick. The Believers, they're down terrible. The Believers were almost so good, maybe. But it falls apart in the very last moment. Really nice 1v3 clutch here from Hezi, the Red Bull clutch. Fantastic map all the way through from Hezi. That new addition to the Infinity X roster. Their one change from Game Changers 2 into Series 3. The one change that they made to try and make it further than they have in the past, which was 1 round ahead of this one right here. They're about to at least make it to that same point if they can take 1 more map in this series.
Yeah, and I think what really ended up hurting Figure8 at the end there was that first half. They were so slow to adapt. After getting those first 3 rounds, it completely spiraled out of their control. It was 7 in a row picked up for Infinity X. A lot of those rounds ending in the same situation. And, well, it is really hard to defend on Lotus. Once you build up a lead like that, it's tough not to close it out. They took a risk by picking into that one, but now it's familiar territory for both these teams. Haven and Bind, the next 2 maps coming up. We've seen them before. We'll have to see if this time Figure8 can turn things around and take their first victory over Infinity X. We'll find that out with map number 2 after the break.
Have you ever asked yourself after a bad game, what am I missing? Or sought help from impatient friends? Or browsed desperately for answers that only bring up more questions? Your self-doubting days are over with Discovery, the first game-focused AI. Discovery is trained on the world's leading esports athletes to be your everyday personal coach. That's right, Discovery can help you improve your gameplay by giving you tips and strategies to take your game to the next level. Get started at aimlabs.com/discovery.
Red Bull gives you wings.